How to be rich in 6 weeks. Every day you open your browser, you might probably see many titles like, if you waste money on coffee, it's like peeing $1 million down the drain, or cut your credit cards so you're one step closer to become a millionaire. You have been doing what those financial gurus say for years, but has anything changed? Are you really better off compared to a year ago? Hey, this is Thomas, your trusted advisor for retirement, wealth, and insurance in Canada. I've been seeing many people trying to pay off their debts by owning more debts. But just like Warren Buffett says, the most important thing to do if you find yourself in a hole is to stop digging. And that's why I want to introduce a book to you called I Will Teach You to Be Rich, No Guilt, No Excuses, No BS, Just a 6-week program that works. In this book, Ramit Sethi, the founder of multiple financial websites in North America, will teach you how to spend your money, how to buy things that you like, and more importantly, how to get yourself financial freedom without quitting anything. And the best part, everything can be done in 6 weeks. Now, I cannot guarantee that you'll do as great as him. In fact, I think you can even do better than him by learning from his failures. So let's get started. Remember when you were cutting down your credit cards immediately after reading the guru's articles? Is it really working? In fact, caring about the cost, thinking short term, and how to please others is unreasonable. So the first and the most prior task for week 1 is to not cut your credit card yet, because it is a great tool for you. First, whenever you buy something with the card, you can track down your spending record so that you won't forget about budgeting. Plus, you will earn points and rewards that will grant you benefits like discounts and free trips. In other words, it saves you money in a bigger way. And the most important thing is the credit score. Building up credit scores can make your life easier when making critical financial decisions in the future, such as buying a house, a car, or starting a business. The higher the credit scores you have, the better quota and interest rate your bank is willing to offer. And that's why having a low credit score is a serious matter. Let's imagine this. You try to borrow from the bank and they find that you have a low credit score. Guess what they will think about you? You cannot even pay off your debts on time, so how can I trust you will pay off mine? Yeah, that's right, and this is why people have to do loans or mortgages with crazy interest rate and fall into a no-ending debt loop. However, with that being said, we're not telling you to spend crazy with your credit card and end up paying the minimum amounts per month. In the end, credit card is a tool and only a tool, whether it helps you or hurts you depends on your usage. So remember, before any purchase with your credit card, make sure you can pay off in a month. The next thing to consider in week 2 and week 3 is working on your bank accounts. How many bank accounts should you have in your bank? 1, 2. Ramit suggests 3. They are called the checking account, saving account, and investment account. So how do they work? Whenever you receive your income, it goes to the checking account, and then you will have to transfer your planned amount to saving or investment account, and the rest will be used for the daily expenses. Why free account, you may ask? And that's because no matter when, inflation will take away the purchasing power from your checking account and saving accounts. It is important to invest, and at least you're able to beat the inflation and let money works for you. The author also suggests to keep the accounts separate at different locations, and that's because you'll be less tempted to pull money from the saving and the investment account because it takes days to transfer back for you to spend. So setting up these free accounts will regulate your spending in a clear sight. In other words, you're controlling your spending. If we don't do that, all you can see is just one account, which means there'll be no signs to stop you from overspending or remind you that you have reached your limit for this month. And as a result, your cash flow is out of control. Why? This is because a lot of us will borrow money from our future self. Once you've used all the available spending amount you set, you will start borrowing more from your savings from next month. With the technology nowadays, you can do all kinds of transactions with a swipe of your finger. You think you can spend less or save money to repay the loan next month. But the truth is, it will happen again and again, and you will never save a single dollar. Alright, now you have all the credit card and the account sets, but it's not ready to run unless you are prepared for this, and that is the mindset of spending. Believe it or not, in North America, 70% of people will overspend even though there are tons of people teaching them how to avoid it. This is because we actually don't know what and where we have spent our money. According to a survey, more than 1,000 millionaires are being selected and observe their purchase habits. More than half of them never spent over $400 on buying suits, never spent more than 4 digits on watches or shoes. So what did the survey tell us? Rich people will spend on things they like, but they don't waste money on things that they are not interested. And this is what Ramit wants us to work on. Let's see how we can build our spending mindset. First, we have to break our income into 4 parts. One part goes to the fixed expenses like house rentals or food. One part goes to the investment. And the remaining goes to saving goals like down payment or vacation fund. And lastly is the entertainment expense. I will suggest 40% on the fixed expense and 20% to each other categories. Especially on the fixed expense portion, when you start keeping it to your chest, you'll realize 2 things. Neither there are some expenses that can be adjusted, or 2, you need to set more budget to it. The mindset of spending will also tell you the truth of your financial situation. For example, maybe your car payment is too expensive, or your income is relatively low. That will get you thinking to generate more income sources like getting a part-time job or learning more high-income skills. Up to this point, you might probably think about, what if I just buy everything at the lowest price? Sometimes, things that are cheap often cost you the most, and I learned this in a hard way. Believe it or not, things that are cheap may not be able to fully solve the problem, so you end up having to spend more time and money to fix it. Remember, being frugal is different from being cheap. Being frugal means caring about the value, thinking about long term, and willing to invest in what they like. Week 5 is all about financial automation, and it's simple. All you need is to set a pre-authorized plan for your investments and saving, especially if you're investing in RSP or tax-free saving account. And this is how it works. When income is deposited into the checking account, the system will automatically transfer your preset amount to a saving or investment account, and there are 3 benefits for doing that. First, we all hate minor things that repeat itself, like doing chores or moving money in and out manually, and that's human psychology, so automation helps with that. The less you involve, the faster it grows. Second, it helps with the market risk. As we know, no one has the crystal ball when the market goes up or down, so doing it monthly or even bi-weekly investments will average out the market risk. And lastly, it can build up expectation. Imagine you visit your investment account after a year and you realize it's 50% closer to your target, and that's the excitement you want to bring to yourself. Again, we are all afraid of running complex stuff continuously, and automation can help us manage the small things so we can focus on things that are more important. Now assume that you have been following the first 5 weeks in 100% commitment. You have successfully built up a financial automation system in your bank, refreshing your sense of spending, and right now we can start growing our wealth. In week 6, Ramit will teach us how to speed up the system by investing. He thinks that we should do financial management based on humanity. We should build up our wealth on a good distribution of stable investment. For example, the index fund. Take S&P 500 for example. Since the 90s, the average annual return is between 10 to 11%, not only beating the normal savings account interest rate, but also the inflation as well. And that's just an example. There are plenty well-behaved investments that can put your finance in a good position. But of course, make sure you have your game plan before you invest. And there's one more thing besides investment. Ramit has given us a bonus that will accelerate the plan. And the secret to accelerate the plan is to get more income. Wait, what? Yes, cash flow is simply income minus expense. And in Canada, we have to pay tax, food, shelter, transportation, you name it. And that's not much expense that you can cut down. So the fastest and simplest way is to increase the income. For example, negotiate for a raise, start some freelance work, or get a higher paid job. I've shared a few ways to increase your income without leaving your house, and you can check it out after this video. So to sum it up, here's a roadmap about turning your debts into wealth within 6 weeks. Week 1, keep your credit cards but pay on time. Week 2 and 3, separate into free accounts. Week 4, rebuild your mindset of spending. Week 5, form financial automation by linking your bank accounts. And last week is to start a stable investment. If you want to know more about this book, I will leave the details in the description box below. But before you leave, If you like this video, please, you can give this video a thumbs up and share your thoughts. I want to know more about you. Alright, thanks so much for watching. This is Thomas, and I will see you in the next video.